Welcome back to another season of Back to the Futures, presented by ChangeUp. I'm Owen, your host. I'm joined right off the top of the show by League Commissioner Joe Paolucci. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Owen. How you doing?
Doing well. We are back for another opening day. Last time we played Futures League Baseball, it was the Lake Monsters raising the 2021 trophy, but now it's 2022 opening day. How have preparations gone this winter and the past couple of weeks to get to this point?
I'd say all off season, everybody's been working really hard, and it started. The off season really kind of starts in October, right around the time that we do our golf tournament. We have our owners and general managers meeting, and that's kind of where we lay out the roadmap for the upcoming season. And since then, everybody's been working really hard, particularly on group sales this year, but really just kind of planning out the season. So it's probably the most uneventful off season that I've had personally since I've been here, and that's a good thing. So yeah, the off season went great. So I'm looking forward to a great start of the season as well.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of seasons we've been adding new teams every year, but it was the same 8 teams in an early schedule release this offseason. And last season, the league continued to grow. We had more games on NESN. We'll talk about that in a minute. How do you plan to build off the continued success that the league had last season?
That's a good question. I feel like every year things have gotten a little bit better with the league. So I want to continue that trend, but nothing specific, to be honest. I think that the job that the owners do, the job that the general managers and their staff below them do, the league is set up perfectly for success, I think, just because of the people that we have in place. So again, continue to grow the league every single year. And this year will be no different.
Yeah, and part of that will be displayed for 4 games on NESN in July. We have the Suns playing in Nashua on July 2nd, the Rocks playing in Worcester on July 9th, Worcester playing at Westfield on July 16th, and then Nashua is in Brockton on the 23rd. How did those games come together, and what's it like to be on NESN again this season?
Yeah, we've had a great relationship with NESN. And also with Pack Networks. That's the company that manages the production of each of those games for us. But it's been a great relationship. It's really rewarding hearing from people that they saw us on NESN and they just kind of realize how big the league actually is and how good our players are. So it's great to be able to be recognized on a regional network like NESN. I think that in a way, we kind of did them a favor because we played during the pandemic year, so we gave them some content that they needed. So I think that's why that they're willing to continue this relationship with us. And having 4 games is great. It's unfortunate the way the schedule worked out. We really wanted to be able to showcase all of our teams, but I'm confident that the teams that will be on there are going to put on a good show. For example, Brockton has a star-studded roster this year, at least based on the fathers of these players' performances. So I'm sure you're going to get into it, but Brockton has Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, Keith Folk, and Gary Sheffield's kids are all going to be on the roster this summer, along with Reggie Williams, former big leaguer, is taking over the reins with the Rocks as the manager. So there's going to be a lot of excitement around that team, I think, and that's why we're able to get them a couple of games on NESN.
Yeah, so that leads perfectly into my next question, which is about player recruitment, which definitely took, went up a scale this summer. A lot of teams bringing in some big names and bringing back some big names from last summer. What is it like to see teams bring in these big names and helping grow the league in that?
Yeah, it's awesome. And we have the best facilities around. It's certainly in New England, if you compare us to other leagues. Our facilities are better than anybody else's, and I think that's unquestionable. So to be able to get these big names from big time schools, I think really suits us well. It's the kids have a great experience when they're here. We hear from all of those kids, right at the end of the season, and they always tell us how great of an experience that they had. So, having these great prospects come in here, it is nothing unusual. Just for example, like Tom Tracy does a great job with his roster. Peter Wilk up in Vermont has a ton of Division I players on his roster. So these guys all have connections with college coaches and pro scouts all around the country. So Having these, as I said, star-studded rosters is nothing new to the Futures League.
Yeah, and from new players on the field to new managers in the dugout. You mentioned Reggie Williams is in Brockton. We also have Kevin Donati in Pittsfield and Kyle Dombrowski in Westfield. What are your thoughts on the new managers that are coming into the fold?
Yeah, so I don't know a ton about any of those three guys, really, to be honest, but just based on what I've heard from their general managers, they're really excited. I mean, I think that they're great motivators, which is probably the key, right, to being a good manager in the summer, because these kids are all coming from playing 50 to 70 games, really, and they're tired. I'm sure they want to go home, spend time with their family and friends, and but instead they got to be on a bus all summer long. So it takes a strong leader, like the three guys that you mentioned, and the other five guys that we have managing the other five teams to get through an entire season. So I think these guys will be great for their organization.
Yeah, certainly big to have those guys as motivators to get these guys through the long grind of summer, but it's going to be worth it in the end. And all Futures League teams seem to be upping their promotions game for 2022 as well. Which ones are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I mean, each team does their own thing based on their own communities and what works there and what doesn't work there, right? So the big one that the league is doing is we're doing a little spin on some of our Education Day games. It's no secret we've been a huge fan of the Savannah Bananas and what they've managed to accomplish, not only with their league play. I think that's the Coastal Plains League, I believe, right? Coastal Collegiate League. But then what they've done, branched out and kind of become the quote unquote Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, if you will, with their crazy rules and banana rules, I should say. So we're going to kind of copy that model a little bit. We're going to have our own rules, and each of our teams are reaching out to the school districts to have the kids kind of pick the rules. But those games that are going to be played on June 8th throughout the Futures League are going to be played with those kind of funky rules, and we're going to see how it goes. And I think it's going to be great. It's going to get a lot of engagement from the community and the existing fan bases, and hopefully bring in more fans. So I'm really excited for that. That's only a couple of weeks out. So I think that'll be kind of a good way to kick off the promotions throughout the league.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And the teams have certainly been hyping it up all off season. So it'll be cool to see. A couple more questions here before we sign off, starting with, once again, we are partnering with Blue Frame to show all Futures League games this summer. What's it been like to partner with them, and how can fans watch that?
Yeah, Blue Frame's been great. In fact, I just found out yesterday that they are partnering with Huddle. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, Owen, but it's basically just Huddle is a company that takes video of the prospects and creates their own personal page for them. So I think the partnership with Huddle will make their software even more robust for us and how we use it. But the relationship has been great. Fans that want to watch our games, they can go to our website, thefuturesleague.com, and they can get, I think we changed it a little bit this year. They can get a weekly pass for $10. So that enables them to watch any game for that week. Or they can get a season pass, which I believe is $99. They can watch any game at any time. All those games are on demand as well as streamed live. So it's just, Blue Frame's been great for us. It's just another way for us to be able to get to our fans. And with a lot of these kids coming from outside of New England, or playing for a team that's a few hour drive away from home, it just makes it a lot easier for mom and dad and the extended family to be able to watch these guys play.
Yeah, certainly. We're excited to see our fans engaged with Blue Frame and at the stadium this summer. And our final question here for our intro episode of season 5: why should fans go to a Futures League game or tune in on Blue Frame to a Futures League game?
Yeah, great question. I mean, the players are incredible. I mean, I think every year that I go and watch these guys, I'm more and more impressed. I spend my spring on a high school baseball field, so to be able to see that talent level and then go and watch a Futures League game and kind of see what it becomes 2, 3, 4 years later is a lot of fun. I mean, these guys are throwing the ball 95 plus miles an hour and they're hitting the ball 400 plus feet. So it's these guys are the future of the game, hence the name of the league, the Futures League. So it's exciting to be able to watch them play. And I think for anybody, any parent that wants their kids to be more interested in baseball, or for the kids that are really interested, it's a cheap way to show them, what really good baseball looks like. You don't have to take them to a AAA game in a certain city, or you don't need to spend your life savings taking them to a Red Sox game. For probably less than $100, you can take a kid, take a family of four to a Futures League game, and that includes parking and tickets and feeding them and getting them souvenirs. So, the price is certainly right. The kids love it. The exposure that they get to the players in terms of getting them autographs and being able to talk to the players on the field, is second to none. So it's a great product, and again, excited to be able to watch our fans and our families and enjoy another great year of Futures League baseball.
Yeah, you said it. The future is in the Futures League, and we're really excited to welcome all of our fans back for the 2022 summer. Happy opening day, everybody. Joe, thank you so much for joining us on this intro episode. We have more episodes of Back to the Futures coming every Monday this summer, so please tune in. And Joe, thanks again.
All right, thanks all. Appreciate it.